we do have contract with Judge Shar, I've got one, thank you, to, an employment agreement to reappoint Judge Shara as the municipal judge for the town of Fromberg. And the employment agreement is made and entered on the first day of December 2018 by and between Jackie Shar, hereinafter called the judge, and the town of Fromberg as a municipal corporation, hereinafter called the town, referred to collectively as the parties. Whereas the judge was appointed the presiding city judge for the town of Fromberg by the town council effective November 1st, 2014, and whereas the judge served a 4-year term ending November 1st, 2018, at a special council meeting held on November 26, 2018, the town and the judge agreed to an additional 4-year appointment with the following terms. Now therefore, for and in consideration for the foregoing and mutual covenants and promises contained below, and for other good and valuable considerations, the party agrees as follows. Number 1, foregoing recitals are incorporated in this agreement and made a part of it by this reference. During the term of this agreement, the judge will have powers and perform the duties of the presiding city judge as set forth in Montana statutes and the Fromberg City Code, and will perform other legally permissible and proper duties and functions. The judge will appear for open court 2 times a month to address any business brought before the court, and will be available on an on-call basis as the needs of the town require. The town will provide supplies as needed by the judge in order to conduct business. Number 4, the judge is paid monthly on a salaried basis. Her position is unclassified and exempt from overtime and compensation time. If the judge is called upon to conduct a trial that extends beyond the 2 open court dates each month, then the judge will bill the town on an hourly basis for the hours she expends over and above the twice monthly court dates. The judge will be compensated for her services as a presiding city judge during the term of this agreement as follows: monthly salary of $400 plus salary increases as approved by council and set by resolution. Vacation and sick time provided to all city employees. Compensation as required by state law for 1/2 the cost of training and travel shared with the town of Joliet. This agreement will be reviewed every 4 months. Any modification of this agreement, additional obligation assumed by either party in connection with this agreement shall be binding only if evidenced in writing and signed by each party or authorized representative of each party, and she has signed it, Jackie L. Shara. And we will have to set an appointment date for her to come in and do that. So
Officially, yeah.
And at the special council meeting on the 26th, we had approved this contract, but I just wanted to have it read in meeting so that we know, everybody knows that we are going to have approved reappointment of Judge Shara. Do we have any?
I had just one question, I guess before, I was curious, I know, you said we had to have a city judge. I was just curious, what law, I was trying to research that and I couldn't really find anything. What law, Montana law, specifies that we have to have a city judge?
It names it in the Title VII, and it indicates that all towns shall have certain officers, and the judge is one of those.
Mm-hmm. And if we don't have a town judge with the population our size, then we are obligated to contract with another town judge, city judge, or municipal judge, or the county.
Okay.
So, but we do have
That's
to have
under
legal,
Title
yes.
VII and,
Mhm.
okay, that works. I just wanted to make sure that's all.
Okay. Any questions from any other discussion? Okay.
I make a motion, we accept the employment agreement for our city judge, as written.
I'll second it.
All approved?
Aye.
All opposed? Audrey.
In the back,
Sir, you are up. Yes.
in the back of all of your books,
are the drafts for the first 3 titles of all of the ordinances. There's 11 titles total, so that represents a third, pretty much almost a third of what has been looked at so far. Most of it has been changes through the committee, and I appreciate the committee's assistance, and Ms. Freeman has assisted as well in trying to get those done. So that is the first 3 titles. Those have not been published to the public yet. I'd like the council to look through them at their convenience. If they have any questions or suggestions, additions, omissions, let me know so I can get those rewrote or addressed, and we can get them to Ms. Freeman. We'd like to get them all done, but that is the first 3 titles that have been edited.
When's the next time you guys are getting together?
We're gonna probably look at trying to change the schedule a little bit, just because now we're getting into stuff that's gonna
Sure.
take just a little bit more time, but we're trying, the schedule's posted on the store, and we try to do
Gotcha.
Monday nights.
Mhm.
We've got, with the health and sanitation, that kind of turned into a little bit more complicated, just because of the, things that it ties to.
Yeah, I'm gonna suggest that you split that up, and I'll
Okay,
get
like,
with you on that.
that's fine, so yeah, we're just we're working through, what we're doing on that. When it comes,
You've looked these over and
Yeah, there's
you approved
a lot of the
language.
suggested repeals were mine. There's some under the administration and personnel I see missing, and I wondered about that, but I'll get with you.
no, that's fine, and those are just, things that yeah, and that's why I said I wanted everybody to look through them, and that way if there's questions or whatever, that's why we have not posted them anywhere, it's just right now at this point in time for the the city attorney and the council to review, and then once we get those fine tuned, then we'll make that information public. Right now, it's just the council and the committee that we're just working through those, but at least we have 3 that we've completed so far, so. Is there any questions on that portion?
No.
Okay. We still are accepting public comment, and what I've requested is that all public comment be in writing. The reason for that being is that if there's ever a question about somebody's opinion not being heard, we wanna make sure there's a record of that. The public comments we have received have kind of been more about complaints about specific people not doing particular things. So those are things that'll be forwarded to the city attorney as well, and then she can work with the sheriff's office for the enforcement of those kinds of things. But the comments we've received so far have just been mostly complaints about people not abiding by ordinances, or at least in one person's perspective. So we're still doing that. We definitely want to have another, we're going to host another community meeting after the first of the year. The problem is, I think until we get to pets, or until we get to animals and zoning, there really isn't a whole lot of interest in what we're doing. But when we get
From
to
the
that,
public, you mean?
yeah, those are the 2 that
Really?
those are the 2 I hear the most on. And so, but obviously after we get all of them done, we'll post them. I'd like to see them out there for a month and a half before we even have a first reading. That way, we can make them public, everybody can share
I
them.
agree.
But that way it's done, and then we can go back and fine tune. I just like to get the bulk of the work done before we tear apart what we're starting on. It's kind of the plan so far. That may, obviously is subject to change to the discretion of the council or whomever. So that's kind of where we're at, but the first 3 are for your review. Additionally, a couple other things I've been working on. December 21st, we're still planning on having a Christmas stroll in downtown. We have received some interest from the school in participating in that, from caroling and some other things, so we're working with them right now to try to get everybody tied in together on that to make it a community event. And as for the request for assistance, we've gotten a couple requests for assistance, and Santa Claus letters will be picked up from the school on Friday, so I might need some help responding to some Santa letters if anybody feels so holiday festive to do so. So, but those are the things that I've been working on. If there's any questions, I'll answer what I can.
Since you've kind of dove into this, what do you think? I mean, is it coming along like you thought it might, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it is just clarifying. We've got some pretty archaic language and a lot of that stuff. Some of it's very wordy. Just those 3 titles we condensed to about 15 pages versus a significant larger number of pages that we went through. A lot of that stuff you'll see will denote state codes, so it's going to be easier too when we have to review it in June after the legislature meets to just go through it. So we're just trying to write it where it's easier to understand, easier to to kind of reference, and that way too, if somebody has a question, you can just set it up. There's a lot of things that needed to be fixed. There's a lot of things that needed to be repealed, that were
Yeah.
outdated, there's a lot of things that needed to be added, so it's just kind of modernizing what we had.
Were you able to find the documents, previous documents that?
We are
that-
still missing the first 150,
That's pre-1975 documents.
yeah. I still have not been able to locate them, and
Is that a big deal?
No,
Okay.
they were codified
so.
at the times.
We've still got about half of that jail cell to finish going through, and I'm hoping maybe through some more extensive digging we can find them, but at this point in time, no, they are not, have not been located.
Yeah, and we're gonna have to make time for it, because I've already informed Nate that he has to come over and help, so. He just, or Jeremy, I'm sorry, so he just has to come and find time in his schedule to come for a couple of hours here and there to help us go through that.
I'm sorry,
No, that's all right. I can help.
It's warm in here.
Yeah.
bring a dust mask, that's all I recommend.
I've got a question here, because on the schedule it has December 4th for covering 6 and 7,
Yeah,
but we haven't done 4 yet.
no, so we're gonna, that's why I said earlier that we're gonna have to modify the schedule, and I needed to
Okay.
talk with Hope about what she,
Okay,
so,
so even tomorrow is tentative.
correct.
Okay.
And those are basically just work sessions, so it's not necessarily it's not necessarily, I mean, anyone's obviously welcome, and somebody will be here, but
There won't be any definite topic.
that's correct.
Okay.
I just kind of like to keep the flow going of staying on that schedule, and if we have to go back or revert or whatever, we can always adjust then. I think we've done a lot of, the committee's done a lot of good work. I mean, working with Ms. Freeman, I think we're making some significant progress on these, which is something that needs to be done to make everyone's life much easier.
I agree.
So, I'm just kind of trying to keep the flow up.
But I got one more.
Yeah, Tim.
I don't think you're gonna get public comment until you have something written out.
Yeah.
It's hard to comment on something not knowing what it is. I mean, and you have to give people time to digest, you know, is this feasible, does it work in this town? I showed up one night and, I knew that you couldn't make it, but, you know, and unless I have something written out, most
So you think
people.
when, by the time we're done? and-
Yes,
and
and
post it,
post
you
those
get more-
ahead of time,
Yeah, we will.
because you want people to go, hey, 5 heads are better than 1.
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
did you look at line 6? This is what you have written here, are you thinking about this? And it gives time people to digest, but they have to be able to, you know, I mean, like, when I first, and I think Elton was the same way, and Dottie was the same way, when we first got the zoning ordinances, I spent 15 hours going through the book. 1 time, 2 times, 3 times,
Mhm.
so I knew what it said on it,
And
once
even
I
then, we're a
printed it
little
off.
confused now. on that.
And then there was still times that, you know, we go, wait a minute, does it say this or does it say that?
I told you
You know.
guys when you started, it was confusing. I mean, it was.
Yeah, but no, there was, I mean, in order to know what it says, but I think something has to be printed out for people to get, to
And I
give their
think the way they're
input.
going about it, simplifying things, it's
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah.
easier for people to comment as well.
Mhm. But I think you'll get more comment that way once
Good.
it's printed,
Yeah.
something's printed out.
Is that it, Audrey?
It is.
Okay.
So, do I have a motion to approve Audrey's
I'll
report?
make a motion to approve Audrey's report.
A second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Okay, so have we,
Only 3 of us got through the bills.
we got all the bills? I know there are, so.
I was in today, but I did not look at it. Go ahead and vote on them, and I'll just decline. I'll get them signed later.
So So we have three that have gone through all the bills, and I've looked at them, so, but I don't get to vote on them, so.
Yeah, there's three
Okay,
there.
so, do we have a motion to approve the bills?
Motion to approve the bills as presented.
I second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Alright.
One decline,
Yeah, one decline, I haven't looked at them, so.
all in favor?
Aye.
You already did that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Aye.
You're a double
I'm
aye.
All in
still,
favor.
still looking at something else here. Okay, all right, so the bills, motion is passed, okay, thank you. Need somebody to keep me in line this week. We have no zoning or building permits. Okay, so we do have correspondence from Mary Lou Pilati with pictures. I don't know if those are the same ones or not. No, it's not, okay. And she says that, to the town of Fromberg, this is written November 5th, 2018, town of Fromberg. I am in receipt of your letter, a copy of which is attached here to paragraph 2, sentence 2 states, you may appeal this notification to the town council, which meets once per month on the first Monday at 7:30, actually it's at 7, in town council quarters. In order to be placed on the agenda, you must submit a letter to the town of Fromberg. Please consider my written appeal for the following reasons. Said notice is dated October 31st, 2018. Per included photographic postmark documentation substantiating delivery date letter from the Fromberg postmistress. The delivery date was November 1st, 2018. This time frame certainly doesn't allow for the full specified 10 days. I am requesting copies, all 4-2-01, in parentheses, or in quotation marks, weed, letters from the town of Fromberg sent out to the pictured date stamped adjacent property owners. In the event said letters were not sent out simultaneously, that would indicate my property had been singled out, and the town of Fromberg's actions have targeted my particular property and have acted in an arbitrary and capricious manner. Additionally, I received a call from the temporary town clerk, Janet Delgado, on October 31st at 2:39 p.m. Photographic documentation available upon request regarding the Boyds, and some reason they had need to access my real property located at 115 West River Street. I informed Janet I would take the matter under advisement and that the Boyds should contact me regarding any such proposal via writing to my mailing address in Fromberg, which Mrs. Delgado said she had. I have yet to receive any correspondence from the Boyds, however. I did receive the above specified notice dated October 31st, 2018. The timing seems very coincidental. Did the Boyds, unable to get immediate access to my property, decide to retaliate by filing a weed complaint with the town clerk? Did the town clerk do a physical inspection? Did the town clerk refer the complaint to the town public works department? This seems unlikely, as I received a call at 2:39 p.m. Said notice went out in mail, which was collected at the latest at 4, final mail pickup time, from Blue Repository in front of Fromberg, Montana Post Office. The weed-conscious Boyds certainly have filed complaints on all pictured adjacent properties, or should have filed complaints on all pictured adjacent property owners, photographic copies and date stamps, which I have included herein. At that juncture, the town should have acted unilaterally and not singling out one particular property owner. Additionally, these weeds are not noxious. All are planted on my own property. All are planted within brick flower beds. And then she goes on to name all the flowers. Today, there are 4 inches of snow on the ground. It seems quite late in the season to issue a weed notice. I ask you to rescind this weed notice and understand this is a civil matter which I am trying to resolve in an amicable, reasonable fashion, a situation that gives me adequate notice. written notice of the board's intent to egress on my property rather than some sort of retaliation as they were denied immediate access to my real property. Sincerely, Mary Lou Pilaty. Did you get a copy of this?
Seeing you, I don't know who sent out the notice.
Yes, I've got a copy in the office.
My sheriff would have sent me a citation when it was written. I don't know.
Well, we'll follow up on it and see.
Was there a citation or
No.
something written?
No, the town sent letters out to several people that their properties are overrun with weeds and junk and whatnot. And one of them was Mrs. Pilaty, or Miss Pilaty, I should say. She doesn't like to be called Miss Pilaty, so, but Mary Lou, yes.
I'm not gonna take any big sides here, but I did weed eat that property with another party this summer. And what is there is sunflowers.
Okay.
And that and a horseradish plant. I mean,
Well, what the complainant wanted was to be able to access her building so that they could remove some limbs, trees and stuff that were growing into their roof of their building. And they wanted to be able to trim those back. And I just told Janet, the girl at the time that was in the office, that they needed to be, because all of those buildings are connected pretty much on the front, you know, and have their empty lots in the back. But still, if a person is going to be able to get access that from the backside of their lot, they should be able to have access to that.
well, it depends on, my mom has a party who is next to her building. And because of recent events, I can guarantee you what? It'll be a cold day in purgatory before they step foot on that property to do windows, before
Right.
she's allowed them access to the roof. But when you have people that are walking on your roof when you have told them not to, good luck thinking that you're going to come back and access their roof to fix your building.
Well, we're gonna have to do some research on that and see what the state code and everything else says, because there's gotta be some point of access where they can get into their on their building or, you know, whatever. They could do that from the backside with an extension ladder, I would think, or even from the street side. Can't they get on that roof to fix windows or anything from, can they access, they can access it certainly from the inside of the building.
From the inside, that's it.
Yes, so, which would tell me that if they would bring themselves up to speed on replacing or fixing a window, they could do
I'm
that
just
from the
saying,
inside,
it's
yeah.
kind of one of those deals.
Yeah,
When you better let them handle this deal, because let me tell you what. There's a deal called being good neighbors to each other, and then there's the other deal.
mhm,
I mean, we've all been in that situation when,
Yes, we
guess
have.
what? Somebody's been nitpicking and da-da-da, and are you letting them on your property to fix their?
I understand that, yes, been there, done that, so. But we'll look into it and see what's going on. And if need be, I can have Josh or Josh or some of the guys.
Or
No.
Hope could probably tell us, it's probably just a civil issue, isn't it?
More
If it's
likely.
just between neighbors, the town shouldn't be involved, because it doesn't involve town property. Now, if you're talking a weed complaint in November, December, when there's snow on the ground, I'm not gonna be asking the sheriff's department to issue anything.
Yeah,
No.
well, I think that
But-
I don't think there was any snow on the ground when the
I
letters
think
went
that
out. but-
if you want it prosecuted, do it for everybody and take pictures and everything to support the prosecution. And treat everybody the same. So that's my advice.
Okay. Okay, the only other correspondence that we have is an amendment to the, between owner and engineer agreement, amendment number 3, and this is for the lagoons. So what they The effective date is October 3rd, and the nature of the amendment is the additional services to be performed by the engineers and modifications. So basically, and I'll leave a copy of this out so anybody that wants to can look at it. It's about 4 pages long. And it's not a huge estimated cost for the contractors to finish the work, complete the work totally, and I believe that's already been done, was $20,000. And I believe that work has already been done, but they just sent us an amendment so we would have it on file.
Sure, you also have the approval of the
And
plans.
yeah, we need to,
We'll
we'll do that. Yeah, we'll have to do
And
that.
then, the preliminary, engineer report from Great West Project, two that came in the last 2 days of
Okay.
this.
And this is our latest and probably our last letter of transmittal, and this is is for draw number 20. The enclosed draw request number 20 for wastewater project, rural development, engineering services, and outlay report. Let's see. This is this draw includes post-construction costs for completing O&M manuals and record drawings on which must be paid with town funds per letter as conditional contract with rural development. They are asking that that they are requesting a payment of $19,381.25 from rural development grant, $1,625 from the town's general fund, Great West Engineering, $21,006.25, and that is for a, she doesn't have a title or a total on here.
Isn't that the total of 21,006?
No. It's about 50,000 altogether. But what did we get in the bank, Jen? 50-some thousand?
For this last draw, for the
Mhm.
draw 19, or draw 20?
We haven't even gotten draw
For
20 yet.
19, we've got, I wanna
Yeah.
say like 72,000 or
Yeah.
something
Mhm.
altogether. Which was approved in the last meeting.
Mhm.
Yeah, but 19,381 and the 1625 added together equals the 21,006.
Yeah, 21,006.25.
Now, this is just the engineering fees for
This is,
the
yeah.
cleaning out the
Right.
sludge and stuff?
No, we still have that money in contingency funds that we can use for the clean lagoons out and things like that. In fact, I'm gonna talk to Karen Sanchez, who's a state engineer, and Eleanor Kindness, who is a director at Rural Development, and DNRC, and they were here today. I met with them today for a little while. But I think that what we need to do is maybe take some of the sludge out of those cells, and then what I'd like to do with it, and we'll have to have a public meeting and everything else before that, is put in wetlands over there, wildlife, wetlands, birds, cattails, things like that, which we can do with those old lagoons and keep it, I think it's
Isn't that kind of a breeding ground for mosquitoes?
not like you got a lot of birds in there.
If you guys, you have a mosquito finder, you did at one time.
We still
Yeah,
do,
still-
There's those discs,
Mhm.
if they were placed in there
and I think we still
monthly,
have some.
would eliminate a lot of that.
Right, and I think we still have some of those down at the shop, they've just never used them. I don't know how many cartons we've got down there, I'll have to go down and look. But they're very simple, and they're very inexpensive to get.
Yeah.
In fact, I know, I've been in contact, because I've done this before, with a company that will give them to us. Just, for advertisement or anything else, and, So that's, the total draw, yes, $21,006.25. So I'll need a motion to approve that 20.
I'll make a motion to approve draw 20.
I'll second that.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second to approve draw number 20 for Great West Engineering. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, Jeremy. He's been waiting and waiting.
Yeah, I'll just make this brief. Just every month, still doing the water readings for the town to turn into, for the building and stuff, and doing the daily water sample down at the bulk water plant. The new snow plow blade came in. I was able to get that on the plow that goes on the work truck. So that's up and running and ready with the new blade. And I also got the other riding, I'd never seen it, I guess they did it when I wasn't back yet. The riding lawnmower with the red blade on it. I got that running finally and got the blade mounted on that. So being prepared for the snowstorms, and then I hope people are noticing I sand all the intersections during that ice and snow when that does come through town in the storms. Keeping up on that. And then I've gone through a lap. They don't last long because as soon as I make them nice, people start hauling butt on the gravel roads. Like 3rd Avenue is really bad because they can go all the way down to that Lover's Lane turn. So they're doing like 40 miles an hour by the time they get there. But I still, it's an ongoing process. Get 3rd around there to Lover's Lane, that blew it. And I go up to Cactus, Sage, Benson, Hill, Carbon, and there's that Bartlett up there, and Billy's keeps trying to stay on top of Billy's, it's washing down to the bottom. And I'd like to start looking into some kind of a drainage, like a drain tile, like I've seen on golf courses, like a perforated pipe that's flexible that you could lay down that gutter, cross the Avance's driveway, and then figure out how a place to dump that. 'Cause I believe the ditch is right there too.
It is, yeah.
And just the way those come together, it's always.
To feed it in the bottom, and there's only one resident back there, but still, they got a mess to go through.
How long of the run would you need? I've got some pipe I've been trying to get rid of.
I wouldn't know right off the top of my head,
It's
I mean,
about 6 inch.
One of the French drain pipes.
50, 75 feet maybe. I haven't measured it though. That's just, it just drops down the hill to the bottom to Duffy's.
Yeah,
I
and
got some if you
Okay.
wanted to use for that.
then- right,
I
and we
can
might
look at
need to
it.
think about that down on Mine Spur Loop as it goes around,
Oh yeah, that's another.
you know,
place.
where that, because that's a mess too. Every time that washes out, the snow melts or whatever, it's like a 2-foot dip in there, so we need to find something to get that fixed.
And then I get, pretty much last thing I've put, you guys should have the copies. I got the application license to get the certification for water. And I've highlighted what the fees are for the application for the exam. And then there's a conference coming up in February, like the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, I think. And it's all